National Treasury Cabinet Secretary Uhuru Kenyatta is expected to present the 3.3 trillion budget before the National Assembly in just about 2 hours. This budget will be the last under President Uhuru Kenyatta's regime. Well, the Big Four agenda is one of the biggest winners in the budget to be tabled by the Treasury Cabinet Secretary this afternoon. The Big Four agenda has been allocated 146.8 billion shillings for the next financial year, representing a 38.5 billion shillings increase from the allocation of the current financial year. Well, this signals the importance accorded to the execution of the Big Four agenda in President Uhuru Kenyatta's last budget. And the education sector is yet another big winner in this year's budget, with an allocation having been increased by 9.9 billion shillings to 513.8 billion compared to 503 billion shillings in the current financial year. Well, on the flip side, the government is cutting back significantly on the economic stimulus package, with the allocation revised downward to 20 billion shillings for the financial year 2022-2023 compared to 50.6 billion in the current financial year. Well, this speaks to the view that the government increasingly feels the economy has shrugged off the lingering effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Another major loser in the 2022-2023 budget is the credit guarantee scheme targeting the micro, small and medium-sized businesses, whose allocation has been revised downward from 3 billion shillings to 1.6 billion shillings. Well, away from that, throughout the entire day, most Kenyans have expressed quite low expectations ahead of the reading, decrying the rising cost of living that has certainly taken a toll on the living standards for many. And we do have Nina Shaban and Kennedy Muriithi in Parliament. Judith Cherono is awaiting the CS at the National Treasury. Melita Oltenges is in Nyeri, and Zacchaeus Mwasame is in Bungoma to hear more from Kenyans. But first, let's begin in Parliament. And Nina, this is the President's last budget, and there is huge concern on the high debt levels, high taxation and high borrowing that has characterized the President's tenure. The question then is, are Kenyans likely to get some reprieve in this budget?
All right, so a very good afternoon to you, Zainab. That is a question that every Kenyan has on their mind, and of course, that will be a wait and a see. We have been camping here since 9 a.m. at the parliamentary buildings, and I must say there's now more activity than there was at 9 a.m., which is earlier on. The security has been beefed up, and more delegates are checking in. Now, Zainab, as you just mentioned, the budget reading is worth 3.3 trillion shillings. What Kenyans want to know is how exactly does the government plan to come up with this money, and at the same time, what is their spending plan? And as you also mentioned, this is Jubilee government's 10th and last budget, and which is going to be read 2 months earlier than what is usually planned. We usually have our budget reading. Just like our neighboring countries, Uganda and Tanzania, we have our budget reading in the month of June, but this time we're doing it in April due to the fact that we are going to be having the general elections on August 9th, 2020. Now, on top of that, Kenyans are also eager to find out about the national tax policies, and with that said, we are waiting in the next few minutes. Cabinet Secretary for Treasury Uhuru Kenyatta will be gracing us with his presence as he's going to table to the House the 2022-2023 budget, and I'd like to cross this over to my colleague Kennedy Muriithi, who's on the other side of the Parliament, just to bring us up to speed on what is going on there.
Well, a very good afternoon to you. And as we continue here at the Parliament buildings, just outside the main precincts of Parliament, there's a bit of activity that is going on. And actually, if my camera person, Chris Omulando, will be able to show, is that even the number of boots on ground is increasing by the minute. At the entrance, we can actually even see it is the Red Beret GSU that has taken over. And this is now putting aside the normal security at Parliament that is always here. On this other side, there are police officers, traffic police officers, who are making sure that the traffic flow at this particular area at this this roundabout, the parliamentary roundabout, is actually clear as they make sure that everything goes on. Also, there is a number of Kenyans who are just turning up here, marveling at what is happening, as they do expect that at around 3 o'clock or 2:30, the minister in charge of Treasury will be coming here just to make his way. What we do not know is whether he will be coming by road. Remember, most of the time, even the last year, and this is just what is happening, you can see even borders are not being allowed to pass on to this particular road. This is the Parliament Road that is leading to the Senate entrance, and that is the main entrance where the Cabinet Secretary will be coming in through. The other times we've seen that every time he is coming, he is walking from the Treasury, because from there to Parliament is about 300 meters. So he comes and he is received by the speakers of both houses on the other side. But now he is coming to the National Assembly, and this is a national matter where he'll be reading the budget estimates. And this is just basically revenue measures that the government is looking and how it will be raising money. So we are keeping a 360-degree look at what is happening here in Parliament, just to give you that feel of what is happening. Remember, as we've already been told, even my colleague Nina Shaban and Julian Zamboko, our numbers guru, has been able to say is that this is that final budget for President Uhuru Kenyatta, and he'll be looking to see how he is going to allocate monies into his pet projects. Remember, one of them is just one that is just near us, and Chris could be able to show, and that is the expressway. He might even be looking at some of the ongoing projects and putting money into infrastructure, so that he sees that even as he goes home in August, some of the projects that he has started are going to be looked after with that particular budget. But remember, a budget is read once, so if money is put into these particular ones, and there's a probability that some of those projects that he has started are going to be finished. So we are looking at it. There is the Mwananchi who is even come here, and we'll be looking to see whether the prices of basic commodities are going to remain as they are they going to go up, or the proposals in the current budget, are they going to go down? So these are some of the issues that we'll be looking out for in this last budget that President Uhuru Kenyatta will be presenting to Parliament. Remember, our parliamentarians have the veto powers to say whether they are comfortable with this, whether they want to raise it from the 3.3 trillion that has been proposed, bring it down, or actually even say that we are living beyond our means. So these are some of the sentiments that we'll be looking to see. Remember also, now that I have reported for Parliament, once it has been tabled, the Speaker is going to commit that particular finance bill to the Finance Committee. Then that is where Kenyans of all cadre will have that opportunity to come and give their views on what has been proposed. Then parliamentarians will be able to discuss that particular bill. So from here, we are keeping a close eye and keep it NTV for a 360-degree outlook of what is happening here in Parliament. But right now, I go back to you, Zainab, in studio.